Welcome to Session Sunday. Hi guys, it's Jack Edwards and today's session is going to be focusing on a small group session. But before we get into this week's video, make sure to give us a like and subscribe, and if you missed last week's video, click on the link above. So this week's session is going to split into two different parts. The first part is going to be focusing on SAQ, so speed, agility and quickness, and our ball work, and then the second part is going to be focusing on our passing, on our receiving skills, and then at the end, our movements and finishing. Okay, so moving into part one of this week's session. Before we start, let's have a look at how many players we've got this week and the equipment that we need. We've got 5 players this week, okay, so sticking with the rules that have been given out and working at groups of maximum of 6, which obviously includes the coach. If you have different groups working at the same time, that's fine. But we're looking at a group of 5 this week, but you can use this easily for a group of 4 and even for a group of 3 as well. So in terms of equipment, just balls and cones for now. If you do have poles, that would be good later on in the session, but if you don't, it's fine. You can still just use the cones. For the first part of this session, okay, we're looking at speed, agility and quickness without the ball, and then we're going to bring the ball in as well, okay. So the player here is going to start. The other players are going to be a good 2 yards behind, and then these players here 2 yards to the side, so we're abiding by the social distance rules. Okay, so it's a bit of hard work for the players. So player's going to jog into the middle, okay. The distance here is 7 yards, and the distance here is 7 yards, and the width is just 4 yards or 5 yards, wherever you want it to be. Just make it a little bit of a gap. Then they're going to back pedal, okay, to the start, and then they're going to sprint up. When they get to that side, back pedal again to the middle, okay, and sprint through. When they get to that side, they're going to instantly turn, jog back in again, back pedal back, okay. After they've made the sprint, once they've got to this side, this player will then move up, not all the way to the line yet though. This player will move up, and then the player who's coming next from the side will move to the back. So then this player knows when they're done, they're going to the left, okay. So they're doing the same again, so jog, back pedal, burst off, okay, back pedal, and then they know they're going to sprint through to the side like that, and the next player will go, so jog, back pedal, up, back pedal, sprint, jog, back pedal, sprint, back pedal, sprint, and they will obviously go to the other side there. So then after you've done a few sets, so what I have done is done, so they're going to do 2 reps, okay. So once the players have got back to their starting point for the second time, that's it, that's one set done. Okay, so that's 2 reps, that's 1 set. You can decide how many sets and reps you want to do yourself. You can maybe split different grids up and get a 3 and a 2 working so that you haven't got as much rest time. It's up to you, but if it's the first time the players are back, you want to give them as much rest as possible, okay? And then once you've done that, you then want to bring the ball in, okay? So it's the same thing, but obviously they're not going to be backpedaling, so it's going to be, okay, we're just going to do nice little touches up to here, and then it's going to be a turn, sprint back with the ball, turn, sprint back with the ball, and then same again, sprint back, and then that one's done, and then they can get their nice little light touches in again. This is where they're getting the rest, then instantly turn, get back, same again. Every player needs to have a ball for this part of the session, okay, so that they're not changing over. If you don't do that, you can maybe make sure the same 2 players are using a certain ball, and maybe try and clean them as well, just in case anyone, gets their hands on them or anything like that. So first off, we're practicing that footwork, and then we're getting into the ball work after that. We will now move into our first animation before moving on to the next part of this week's session. Now moving into part 2 of this week's session, We're now moving into using the ladder, okay, as well as practicing our touches as well. Okay, so we want the players bursting through the ladder, okay, keeping that speed, and then doing some quick touches and going again. Okay, so the players are going to work for 1 minute each, then 45 seconds each, and then 30 seconds each. Okay, and you can change things up. You can go again if you want to, and bring in different styles of how you want to do it. In terms of the setup, the players on the outside are going to be 5 yards apart, okay, and 2 yards away from the ladder. So the player will go through the ladder however they want, okay, so it can just be 2 feet in, it can going in sideways, it can going up and down, however you want them to do it. When they get to the other side, okay, they will just receive the ball either to the head, okay, it could be to the knee, it could be to the chest, or it could be to the feet. Okay, so it could be touch and play or first time. So they'll play it back and the other person will have a ball as well. Each player on the outside will have a ball, okay, and it'll be the same, touch and play back, then back through to the other side, and they'll get 2 again from the other side and keep going. So it's important that we're focusing on, in here with the ladder, don't let our feet touch the floor. So don't let our heels touch the floor, okay? So it's just nice and light on our toes, and then using that when we come out, okay, to burst in here, nice on our feet, on our toes again, to play, turn quickly, get the ball again, and then burst through, okay? It's important to keep focused, keep that speed, okay? Keep the players working at a high level for that minute, then for the 45 seconds, and then for the 30 seconds. If you want to instead, they could go in the ladder, they could receive off one side, and maybe control in the air and play out to the other side, and then go back through, and only one player will have a ball here, so we might be throwing into the knee, touch, play out to the other side. It's up to you, okay? But there are different variations that you can do with the players. We will now move into our next animation before moving on to part 3 of this week's session. Now moving into part 3 of this week's session. This is now our final part of our SAQ and ball work, okay? Before we move into more like the technical side of the session. So what we've got here now is, we're gonna have a box here which is 10 by 10, okay? With the central point in the middle to start with, which is just 5 yards further in. So the players again are split up, okay? So they're abiding by the social distance rules. So the first player here, 2 yards behind, 2 yards behind, and the players way to the side. So the rotation will be, each player will just move up each time. So when the play's done, they'll move to here. Okay, so again, so it's 2 reps, okay, each turn. Okay, so what's gonna happen is we're working on our sprinting, our back pedaling, our getting across and then bursting back out. Okay, so this is the start point. We're gonna sprint diagonally, okay? Make sure we're getting round the cone, okay? To then back pedal, okay? Now we get our jog in here. Okay, slow ourselves down for 5 yards. Then sprint back out, okay, really burst into acceleration, get ourselves on the back pedal. Important on the back pedal, okay, that we are on our toes, okay? You can even use it as when you're jockeying a player, get yourself on your side as well, so you move on one side, you might turn as well for the players, okay, especially if they're a defender. Make sure you check your shoulder as well. Get yourself back in, okay, this player will be a bit further back. Then we're gonna jog again, so it's really testing the players. We've got to work at their maximum for this level again. Sprint out again, back pedal again, jog across, and then the final one, put the effort in, back pedal, okay, and then sprint through because it's the last one. So after that's done, okay, each player will then move up into here, like this. Player will move up, player's got the rest is here, okay. So they do 2 reps, okay, and then once they've got back to the start, do it again. So it depends how many times you want them to do it, okay. I'd say 3 times at a minimum, okay, because they are getting a lot of rest in between it. I'd do at least 3 times. And like you say, you can even split it into, you have 3 on one group, 2 on another group, and set another box off, okay, if you think you can do that going at the same time. And then we're gonna bring the ball in, obviously. So with the ball, it's just about getting round and then bursting out, and then getting a bit of a rest here, little toe taps, okay, getting out. So it's gonna be nice, turn around the corner, okay, so de-accelerate here, sprint out, okay, nice and slow around the corner, nice and slow. Once we get back to here, okay, getting through again, nice turn, so we're using both feet as well to turn, getting round again, getting through, and then going again, okay, so you can do that as many times as well. So it might be good to do 3 reps without the ball, 3 reps with the ball, okay. We will now move into our next animation before moving on to this week's 4-corner model. Okay, so looking at this week's 4-corner model, it's kind of split into two different parts. Some things are focused on the SAQ side and the ball work, and some is more focused on the technical side, so when we're moving into our passing and things. Now, so starting off with technical and tactical, in terms with the SAQ and the ball work, it's pumping our arms, okay? So we've got to make sure when we're going through, okay, those ladders, we're really pumping our arms, okay, so it gets the feet moving as well, okay, really sprinting into our strides. Heels off the ground like we spoke about, okay, because when we're flat-footed, especially when if you're going through those ladders and your heels touching the ground, that's when the ladder you tend to clip it, and then the ladder just capitulates basically. Okay, it's the same thing when you're sprinting and when you're backpedaling. Don't let your heels touch the ground, because when you let your heels touch the ground, you got more chance of falling backwards as well. So they're the two most important things to consider when you're doing a lot of speed and agility and quickness stuff. And then we're moving into the technical side, so receiving skills. Okay, so same again in part 2, when we're receiving it off the players. Okay, when we're receiving it to my chest, to my knee, so being able to react. So that's where it's important to be nice and light on your feet to be able to react. Execution of our passes. Okay, so we're moving into technical based drills now, where it's going to be one-touch passes, setting the ball and moving. Okay, so we need to make sure that we're playing nice, good passes. Okay, our selection of passes good and early as well. Close control. Okay, so when we're going around those corners, okay, you know, when we're receiving the ball in tight areas, okay, it's important that our first touch, okay, takes us where we want to go. When we're coming into the corners, we use the right selection of a turn. It could be an outside of the foot, it could be inside of the foot, okay, it could even be a quick turn, anything you want to get round that corner, but you need to de-accelerate, okay, so then you can power off into space after that. And then finally, clinical finishing. Okay, so when we move into the final part of this week's session, we want to be finishing on 1 and 2 touch. Okay, and we want to be scoring as many goals as we can, because we're going to be moving the ball quickly to get it into those attacking areas to then try and score. Okay, so it's being clinical in front of goal and making the right decision quickly. Moving into the psychological corner, starting off with awareness. Okay, so being aware of players' runs. Okay, so when we're going into the technical drills now, where players are going to go when we're playing 1-2s. Okay, when players are receiving it, where are they going to be playing out to? Okay, positive attitude. Okay, because this is really hard work for the players. This might be their first session back after, you know, I don't know, maybe 2, 3, maybe more months without playing. Okay, so it's important for them to have a positive attitude, think, right, we're doing this for a reason, which they are. Okay, it's to get fitter, it's to get better, okay, to get back up to speed. So when the season comes along, they're feeling better, okay, they can fit and they can last longer on the pitch. And when they're tired, they can still work at them good levels. Belief as well in themselves, because, you know, working for a minute at that speed, okay, it is hard, so doubts will creep into the mind. So it's important for us as well to give them that positive reinforcement as well, and you know, if you are a player, believing in yourself, right, I can do this, okay, I can get 1 more set in, I can get 2 more sets in if there's 10 seconds left. Okay, so pushing yourself that extra mile. So the final one for this is don't let your head drop. Okay, so if you make a mistake, let's say you go through the ladders and your touch isn't great, and then you turn and you head it and you just miss the ball, don't let that get your head down. Okay, keep that head up. Okay, get yourself through the ladders again, then get your touch right. Okay, so don't let one bad thing make the session a bad session. Okay, because not everyone's perfect. Not everyone has a perfect touch every single time. Okay. Moving into the physical corner, which is quite important this week. So speed, both with and without the ball. Speed through the ladders, speed through the corners. Okay, things like that. So looking at our acceleration and our de-acceleration. Okay, so when we're coming into them corners, we've got to slow ourselves down so that we can turn. So looking at the ABCs, being able to turn quickly, getting low with our balance, our agility and our coordination to then turn the corner, burst out and sprint through. Okay, so you could be getting to the byline, getting beyond the defender and then sprinting in behind. Okay, so you've got to keep a game realistic as well. Endurance levels, so working for that minute, that 45 seconds, putting that maximum effort in for those 2 reps that you're doing, okay, and kind of the box runs as well. And then finally, fast feet. Okay, so it's important when you're doing those ladder drills, focus on your feet, okay, focus where you're going to go. Okay, so pumping them arms, your feet, okay, focus on those feet all the way time. Okay, so important to be concentrating as well. And then finally, the social corner. So first off, it's massive to be praising and supporting our teammates, okay? Giving our teammates lots of confidence, lots of belief to keep on going, okay? So when we're throwing the ball and, you know, just keep going, 1 more set, great pass, things like that. Keep working hard, okay? Keep relaying lots of positive reinforcements into your players as a player and as a coach as well, okay? So it's 30 seconds gone, okay, you're doing brilliant. Keep it going, okay? Because the more positive reinforcement they get, the harder they work and the better they feel about themselves. So lots of encouragement as well, which is looking at, okay? Because especially with the players, it might be being their first few sessions back, okay? They will be a little bit rusty, so they need that encouragement to keep on doing things like they usually would do. Okay, so now moving into part 4 of this week's session. Now we're moving into a more tactical based drill. Okay, so we're working on some passing and moving, some nice quick passing. So now we're working on our receiving skills and our execution of passes. So the ball's going to start here. Okay, in terms of setup, we have 10 yards of width, okay, 15 yards of depth, and then we have a player in the middle here, so about 7 yards inside. So we're just going to keep on going. The more the players get used to it, the faster we want it to be, the less touches as possible. Okay, so the ball's going to get played in here. It's going to be opened out for this player here then to receive out here, to take the ball away. They're going to follow the passes, so the player here gets into the middle quite quickly, okay? Because when the player gets out wide here, this ball in here, when it gets played into the wide player, they're looking to play a 1-2 with the middle player. So it's important that we time our run in here to meet that, to play that 1-2 for the player to move in, and then they're going to fizz a lovely pass into the next player, and this is where the players are still working hard, because then you've got to make a bust and gut run to get back in here. Okay, so they can't be lazy walking to the next comb, it's getting there, so they are going to be tired, so their execution of the pass has got to be good. Okay, then receiving skills have got to be good, got to be thinking the right things, being aware of where the ball's coming from, okay, and making it early. And then we go again, through, open out, play in, follow our pass each time, play in, okay, play back, and then whip that ball in. Okay, lovely. Keep the ball moving as quick as we can. All right, so nice and simple. To progress it, you can maybe go the other way, so working on both sides of where we're passing the ball, so it could be not just right footers, working on our left foot as well, receiving on our left, receiving on our right, things like that, okay? You want to keep this going continuously for as long as you can, for about 5 minutes, and just keep the players, just keep on moving, because they're getting back into the rhythm of it, okay? The longer they do it, the quicker they move the ball, okay? And they can start doing things more one touch. They can do where the player receives in here first time, and then this player can go on the run and receive it in here. And then this player here can maybe receive in this side here to play their 1-2 to maybe just get it back and then ping it in. Okay, so the players will get more confident and they'll start doing more natural things as well. We will now move into our next animation before moving on to part 5 of this week's session. Moving into part 5 of this week's session, we're now moving into more receiving skills. Okay, so we're looking at receiving, playing out, in again. So the players are going to work for a minute, twice. Okay, so the setup, we have a 12 by 12 box on the outside, and then we have a 6 by 6 box in the middle. We have a line free. Okay, this is to encourage the players on the outside to move. So this player here might play a ball into someone, and then they might move, which means they've got a chance of receiving it again from the other player, or the next time they play, it means these players in here have got to be aware, getting the head up, getting in the surroundings to see where they can play. Also, a player who receives the ball might then take it, all right? So the players in the middle, before they receive any ball, they must move to one of the cones on the outside, okay? So 2 players on the outside are going to have a ball, okay? So one's always going to be spare. So this player might move around here and then look to receive off this player here, and this player might move around here and then look to receive off here to then open out and play. Okay, so it's important for these players here to be aware of the other player's run. Once they've played the pass, okay, then these players can move. They don't have to move every single time. They then have to go around another cone, so it's important to think, right, where have I just played my pass? I'm not going to receive it off the same player. I want to receive it off the other player. So if this player's got the ball, right, I'm going to get round here and I want to play to this player here, so I'm going to come in here now, receive it off there, and this player is going to receive it here, so they might go, right, I'm going to get round here and I'm going to play to there, so I'm going to get in here and receive it first time to play in. Okay, so they don't have to turn, they can position themselves to play first time, or it can be a nice turn out. A player might have made a move, okay, across, and then they go into a different direction. Okay, so it's important to get that communication with the players on the outside as well, to say any player's name, yes, turn out, okay, things like that, bounce the ball, just little bits of communication. So if a player hasn't scanned the shoulder, or the last time they did, somebody was somewhere else and someone's moved, okay, it says yes, this side, left side, right side, little things like that to help the players in the middle. So if you number your players 1 to 5, 1 and 2 can go in the middle first, then 3 and 4. Then 5 and 1, 2 and 3, and 4 and 5. So each player's gone in twice because there is an odd number. Okay, so each player, you're not making one player work an extra time instead. We will now move into our next animation before moving on to the final part of this week's session. Okay, so moving into the final part of this week's session, we're now moving into a setting and moving drill to then get the ball into an attacker to score. So we are going to be using a goal for this. If you don't have a big goal, you can use maybe some small-sided goals, okay, and not have a goalkeeper, and you can just try and play first time into one of the two small-sided goals. If you don't have a goalkeeper training in a separate group, okay, which some people might not, the coach can just go in goal and act as the goalkeeper. Nice and simple, okay, so you don't really need to be involved, and you can just easily throw the ball out, or however many balls you've got, into the players. So there's going to be a set and move each time. So the ball starts here, this is where we have our two players waiting. It's going to be set into here to receive on this side. Okay, play the ball back, and then just get your movements. Okay, so this player's going to meet the ball, play it up, okay, play it back. So this player's then moved to here. Okay, so then they're ready to be on the move here. Play it up again. Okay, so we're switching the play now. Play it back. Okay, now they're going to make the run into the final third, so it could be nice in front of them. Or they could have made the run this way to then receive just in here to take a touch, to then go and finish. And then what we want to do is finish quickly. Next player is ready to go, and we keep on moving. So it's all one touch in here. Okay, get into here. We want a maximum of 2 touches before scoring. To progress it, you can go the opposite way. Okay, so then you're working on a more of a left foot finish, or cutting in to then finish on the right. In terms of the setup, we have 5 yards between each of these cones here. Okay, so then you obviously get a little bit more width, but we just want to go diagonally 5 yards. So we're creating a little bit of a diamond, but we start with 2 cones in here. So like I say, with the goalkeeper, the coach can just go in goal, or if you have a goalkeeper, they can come in and stay in there because they will be socially distanced from the other players. That's if you've obviously got another coach doing a session with a goalkeeper. We will now move into our final animation before concluding this week's session. Thanks for watching this week's session. For more content, follow me on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. The links will be in the description below, and we'll see you next week for another Session Sunday.